We are fortunate today to have amongst us whose only mission is to make Synchron Technologies the first choice for professionals worldwide. A very senior HR professional, Mr. Milind Mutalik. Sir, may I have your permission to begin? Thank you. Sir is a meritorious rank holder, alumnus of the prestigious HR Management Institute, XLRI. He has over 20 years of experience in consultancy, manufacturing, ITES, IT services. He has worked with various organizations like T Systems India, Cognizant Technology Solutions, and P&O Nedloyd IT Services in the past. He is currently working with Synchron Technologies as a senior director. Sir heads and manages global HR operations. As a key member of global compensation and benefits and governance committees, he also helps define and implement people-oriented processes that benefits the employees. I would like to request Sir to kindly address the batch.
Put it in the pocket, it's okay.
Sir, this is what? This is for and this is the laser.
You should be able to run it. Somebody from there can run it, I can just talk. Okay, leave it, I'll try. This is what? To go ahead.
This is forward, this is backward,
Okay.
and this is the laser.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. What do you want to hear from me? Some questions to you. What do you expect out of this session? I don't want to bombard you. You already had one session? Oh Lord. What are your takeaways from that session? Yes? Tell me. Yeah? Okay. All right. What do you expect out of this session? What do you want as a takeaways? 2-3 takeaways which you think should be there, or you please share with us this. What points you have in the mind? Yeah?
Good morning, sir. My name is Rahul Srivastava. I am from Gorakhpur, UP.
Yeah.
Your experience in the corporate sector.
Okay. All right. I'll talk about it. Yes.
Good morning, sir. My name is Monica Srivastava. Your knowledge about the corporate and the other field that you share us.
Okay. Good. I'll try and do that. Sure. Yes.
So opportunities for HR managers all over the India.
Okay. Great. Yes. Yes. We'll come back to you, two of you.
Sir, my name is Sumit Kumar. So, how you achieve your goals in your corporate sector?
Okay. Yes.
Very good morning, sir. My name is Nyanada Bagmare. I am from Nagpur. Sir, the takeaway I got from last session is that what are the current market trends
Wonderful.
in the financial markets?
Okay.
I know a
Okay.
little bit.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my name is Supratik Sanghi. I am from Calcutta, West Bengal. Sir, I want you to talk about that why we should choose HR in MBA.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so I got some pointers. You want to know a lot of things. I don't know how much I'll be able to share. Do you see some problem with the slide? Yeah? I deliberately keep the problems just to see whether you're okay to start with my session. There's spelling mistake there. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead. What in next whatever time, 1 hour or so, what I want to talk about is your responsibility. Okay? Obviously about the corporate world, but moreover, who you are. I'll repeat some of my slides which are there from 2014 because I have addressed the batch here in 2013, 14, both the years. So that's me. Are you a wealthy people? I feel so. Lot of wealth with you. Do you realize it? What is the wealth with you? Do you see something out of these numbers? What? What is there in these numbers? Tell me. This is 2014 repeat slide. Okay. Yes.
Good morning, sir. My name is Shilpa. I'm from Nagpur. So that 24 reveals the hours in a day that we have, and that bit full.
It's other way around. You have 24 months with you, and you have so many seconds. This is the wealth which you carry. Do you want to use this wealth for your benefit? That's the first thing. Please note down that this is the time which has already started ticking for you. Do you want to waste it? You want to use it. So don't say that I'm going to wait for 1 year, see how the world moves, and then try and choose where I have to go. I'm sorry, that's going to be too late, right? So your wealth which you have, use it from, it should have started from the day when you have entered here, rather than waiting for somebody coming here and telling you how to start using your own wealth. You have this with you. Nobody else can take it away from you. You only can waste it. Exposed to the social media, everything else, all right? Okay? You guys are reading a lot, I suppose. If you're not, then that's the mistake you're doing. You should start reading. And that's the first qualification for a professional or a corporate person who is able to know what's happening in the world. Because today, as I mentioned in the first slide, you're on a global platform. Why do we say that? You see, the share market of India got impacted yesterday by some 400, 500 points. Why? Anybody who's learned about finance or wants to pursue something in finance, tell me, or even the HR person can say, yeah? Why do you think, yeah, go ahead, tell me. Sure, but why do you think the share market had a problem? Did you read the news? No, okay. Share market plunges by 500 points because the participatory notes had got into the problems. What does that mean? You need to find it out. If you do not know that, then the corporate really does not accept you. Have you heard there are some crises in China? Yeah? What are the crises in China? Friends, this is the first question any corporate is going to ask you. What do you know about the world if you are talking yourself as a global citizens? Do you say that you are a global citizen now? Anybody can work anywhere, any technology can come from anywhere. Yeah? So, I want to ask you the question, anything which you know about global economics, 1 or 2, 3 topics or news which you think are the latest news, anything which you have heard about, read about. That's where I think the Google, or for that matter even your all the social media needs to be used by you today, yesterday onwards, all right? If you are not aware of what's happening globally, you are outdated, so-called outdated citizen, okay? Anybody? Global economics, yes?
Flipkart value has gone up. Yes.
Okay, yeah, good. But that's more of trade, I would say, rather than economics. Fair enough, doesn't matter. Value has gone up by what?
Don't know the figure.
Ha, look at this. If you're reading, read it in the right way, okay?
Yes.
So, the valuation is gone up to how many thousand millions? And what they are going to do with that valuation? They're going to raise further capital for themselves. So, please, good sign, at least you have taken first step. So, it is essential that you know what's happening in the world, and that's one of the most important thing. Global economics, global trade and finance, what's happening? Political scenario. If you do not know this, you are not with current situation, okay? Let me ask you this question, okay? What kind of a television, phones, okay, white goods like washing machines and all we are using, what brands we are using? Any brand if you remember? Samsung, LG, all right. What phones we use? Samsung, Apple, whatever. All right. Where are they coming from? Korea, yes. Apple is from US. Okay. Where are our brands gone? Videocon, Onida, Nelco. This used to be a TV brands, isn't it? Where have they gone? They finished. They wound up, isn't it? Why? Because they never bothered about Samsungs and LGs of the world. Do you want to be the same? If you are not aware of Samsungs and LGs who are coming up to you, you are out of the competition. Okay? Let's accept this as a very, very bitter fact, that if you do not know what the global trends are, and that's where I'm saying that if you really not keeping your eye onto what's happening around the world, something can come and hit you wherein you will not be in a competition. So experience which I had in the corporate was completely different than what you are going to have. At our point of a time, the world was not changing at this pace. The changes in the world today are at the pace where if the China market crashes, okay, everywhere there is an impact. If the Greece goes bankrupt, okay, we have an impact. Can you please tell me why, if the Greece, which is some country in Europe, getting bankrupt, and we in India we are having a fear of it? Why? Why do you think that's a problem? Any idea? Any connections you can see? Yes?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I am Parul Pawar. So because in today's time there is a global trading
Okay.
between the countries.
Okay.
So the economy of any country depends on other countries as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
So either some of our people have invested in
yes.
that
and
place, some of our factories would be running out of that
Yes.
place. So look at it, there would be a collaborations. Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
please be seated. So the collaborations, so anything over impact over there is going to have an impact over here, right? So there are these changes which are happening. Some of the things which I picked up here: bailout of a Greece, outline strategy to avoid the default of Greece, China economic crisis of a stock market. Okay, all this you will able to find if you do a googling or keep tab on along with the Bollywood news, this news also. Okay, very essential. Going ahead, if you look at World Trade Organization deals to cut tariffs on IT products. Gold hits all-time low. Why do you think gold is hitting all-time low? Very simple question, but you need to know behind it why. Anybody who knows? China market is one of the reasons for gold going bad. All right. Look at it. India's services exports fall from 11% to 9%. So you're talking about you're a service nation. You're getting a lot of revenue out of services. That is IT services or other services which you're providing others, and you get a forex out of it. But that's also fallen by 2%. Now, if you do not know this, you will really have a trouble. Or for that matter, you don't know that Iran deal by USA is now opened up and the oil prices will come down, because Iran, which was banned to do a trading globally, has been allowed to do a trading now, right? So these are the things which should be known to you. Or US President visiting Kenya. It was a different kind of a thing. It's a political news, very important. That's his father's place, where he went and visited, and whatever he promised earlier could not be completely fulfilled. Now look at all these developments. Sitting here in the Pune at this particular place, it is going to impact all of us, right? Nobody 12 years back were aware that the huge building in New York known as World Trade Center is going to collapse. It was uncertainty. And today's world, we talk about uncertainty. And that being the reason, it is very essential. On the airport or on the big airports, you would find there's always a radar kept to see what's coming, what's going to land, what's going to move. I think you need to keep your radar on. If you don't do that, you're going to have really something coming up to you which you are not aware of. What do you think you are? You as a generation. What is this generation being defined by various studies? You know about it? Our generation is known as Generation X, which is 1950s to whatever 1990s or something of the sort or something. You know, you have been defined as what kind of a generation and what kind of a qualities being defined about you. Good ones. I will obviously not talk about anything others. What is that? What do you think is different in you as compared to your older generations? Yeah? Tech savvy, okay, wonderful.
Very much development, when our generation is the one who has seen almost most of the developments that have been.
Technology developments, all right. Anything else you want to add up? Yeah.
So our generation should be ready to accept the changes,
Okay.
whatever changes comes in the way,
Okay.
because it's a changing world and
Alright.
unpredictable.
Alright.
So we should be ready to accept the changes and learn and adapt
Okay.
accordingly.
Wonderful. So be ready for the change. Yeah. Yes.
Sir, our generation to accept new things like
Okay.
involve ITs and the other things,
Hmm.
and the old generation is totally based on all the things that
Okay.
they are not acceptable. They are not accept at all.
Okay. Fair enough. Yes.
Good morning, sir. My name is Bhagyashree Lokre. I'm from Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Our generation is much more complex and competitive than earlier generations.
Okay. Is
There-
it?
There,
Okay,
there
maybe.
is a feeling of competition
All right.
at a very large extent.
Good, good. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, this one we'll take last and then.
Our generation has many new innovative ideas as compared to
Okay.
generation.
Wonderful. Lot of great things about the generation. So, I call the budding professionals. Okay. Some of the things which needs to be very clear to you is your understanding of yourself, your aspirations, your impression management, and your goal. Very difficult to have the constant goal, but if you decide on your goal, you should be able to make it happen. This is what is your generation called as millennial or generation Y. Okay? Ambitious, self-absorbed, gregarious, that is outgoing, extrovert, social, demanding, confident, want to change the world. Is it? Yes? How do you handle the change for yourself? Coming from Indore, coming from Calcutta, coming from various places, such a sad feeling on the day one that the whole world has changed for me. Isn't it? Getting up and no breakfast provided by mother, or somebody was helping in the house, getting up so early, enjoying the vacation earlier, and then don't know, want to dress up like this and go earlier. It was a different story altogether. Change? Big problem on the day one, isn't it? Or day one, day two, day three, day four, maybe fourth, fifth day got into it. So any small or big change, okay, this is the important aspect which is going to come in every day for you, okay. The change which is going to happen for you, and that's something which is going to be a very tough call for this generation. So how do you change yourself is going to be daily question for you. One of the very important thing is not from the advertising perspective, but from the perspective of understanding yourself and creating yourself. You need to create your own brand. Who you are, what do you want to be, that you should create as your brand. So personal branding is very essential aspect of any individual, okay. And if you want to do it, you have to start it now, all right. You can't just wait. And for that, what is important is you need to understand yourself, who you are. Don't try to mock anybody else. If you try to mock anybody else, you will not become that, neither you will remain what you are. You will be somewhere in between. So try and find out yourself and try and work accordingly. For that, identify yourself. Professional and personal aim, Okay, I'll leave the slides with you. Don't worry about it. Don't try to jot it down everything. You will not able to receive it well. Okay, I'll leave it with you. So next year I have to make something new then. Okay, so identify your hurdles and limitations, what they are. Okay, there's no smooth path anywhere. Okay, and that's going to be maybe in a smaller transition of a day or bigger aspects in the life. And communicate your brand consistently. If you believe in certain things, try and practice it, adopt it as your style. You're the person who would like to really become a knowledgeable person, then try seeking the knowledge, discussing it, distributing it, and working on the knowledge. Okay? You want to be a person who really wants to really drive on a public speaking, try, get the opportunities, do it. Okay? Building a personal brand is very, very critical for you. You have to manage the change to create the new you or the professional you. If you want to create really a professional person in you, then you need to manage the change. This is what happens. The 1 Minute Manager Writer series says that doing something that they are not used to doing is the first thing happens. Thinking first what you have to give up, not what you have to gain. Okay? This is what happens. Do you think if I tell you that something has to be done as a change, okay? Generally, the whole thing happens that you reduce something. And let me do this practically here, okay? Let's do a small quick exercise. 2 of you can come here because they can watch you, that's it. Come. Stand in front of each other, this way. Okay, now what you need to do is observe yourself, okay? Then turn back, both of you. Make opposite side. Make 3 changes on your body, okay? And he has to recognize it. Make 3 changes on your body, and he has to recognize it. Okay, turn back. You have, say, about 30 seconds. All right, turn back. Make a changes. Yes, do 3 changes on your body. Whatever you want to do, changes. Do it. You have a 30-40 seconds. Don't worry about it. Visible changes. Visible changes. 3. Okay. Done. Face each other now. Please recognize. Are you able to recognize? Okay.
First one is hand is out.
Yeah.
His hand is inside.
Okay.
And the iCard is
Pushed. Yeah. What about him? Okay. Something not visible also. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. We asked them to make 3 changes which are visible on their self and recognize. First of all, they have tried to recognize it. It is always difficult to recognize the change. All right. Feeling alone even if others are going through the change, isn't it? People can handle only so much of a change. If I tell them that make 10 changes on your body, it's going to be difficult. Okay, 3, still they were accepting. If I tell them one more round 3, they'll say you're crazy, right? So look at change which comes to you, you are able to handle so much. One of the important driver, different readiness for the change, right? Both of them were ready, but if I pick up somebody, they will say, oh, I don't know, I'll able to handle it. People will be concerned that they don't have enough resources, okay? If pressure is off, people revert back to the old behavior. Generally, when there is a changes, people reduce something rather than adding. Have you seen both of them adding something on their body? No, they have reduced. We look at the whole change in such a way that it is a reduction and not the addition. They were having all the freedom to go back to the desk, pick up something and put in their pocket, change. But what their first reaction was moving something out, reducing something. Change does not mean this. And if you really want to manage the change, please learn it's addition, not every time a deletion. Okay? Very important. If the pressure is off, you will be back to your own self. So pressure is off, they are back into their own self. So this is what happens with the change. Judge yourself. Now these are the questions coming. You give rating to yourself. How do you rate your skills? 5 is the high and 1 is a low as a rating. Okay. Please rate yourself. On this 5, rate yourself. You have done? Just write the scores for you. Analyzing and working on a complex situation. You are very high, 5, or low, 1, or mid, 3. Converting thoughts into practice. Whatever comes to my mind, I really practice it. Setting a plan and making it happen. Yes, every time I do it. Or maybe sometimes I do it, 2 or 3. Managing interactions and taking initiatives to meet stranger. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Or yes, every time. Reconciling conflict. That is, if there is a problem, I go back and see that it is being solved. So what's your scores? Have you got your scores? Check it yourself. Above 15, okay, start the journey as a change manager. You are already on the path and just run further. Okay. Less than 15, you need to work and look at the points where they are. If you feel that analyzing and working on a complex situation is the lower score, you need to look at them as one of your developmental agenda. Converting thoughts into practice, look at them as action points for you. So this is something which is telling you, if you want to change yourself, this is how some of the aspects which you need to look at. Okay. For the change, even when the opportunity knocks, you still need to get off the chair and open the door. If you don't do that, you will not able to accept the change. Okay. Very critical and important. Do you think so? For next 2 years, this is your agenda? Yeah? Yes or no? Yes? What is your plan? How do you want to achieve it? Yes.
Sir, I plan to achieve it by participating in more events and by studying what lectures are taking on and growing myself and learning new things.
Okay.
As a manager.
Induction, everybody would say that. 6 months down the line, if you check the attendance, you will get to know 25% people have fallen off. Right? First day, you're just charged. But there are practical issues. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay. You need to make your plan. And it is very essential. This plan is start first believing in yourself. If you don't believe, many a times the hurdle is you say that I can't do this, I think there's a problem. I will not able to do it. The minute that stucks you, you're finished. You have become your own enemy. Okay, will not able to do it. And that's where I want to tell you, everybody has been conditioned to believe. You see this elephant which is tied with a very small, chain. I would like somebody on the front benches to read this further, what's coming up. Anybody who is volunteering? Yes, get up. Yeah. I'll just flash it. You start reading for all.
As a man was passing the elephants, he suddenly stopped, confused by the fact that these huge creatures were being held by only a small rope tied to their front leg. No chains, no kicks. It was obvious that the elephants could at any time break away from their bounds, but for some reason they did not. He saw a trainer nearby and asked why these animals just stood there and made no attempts to get away. Well, trainer said, when they are very young and much smaller, we use the same size rope to tie them, and at all age, it's enough to hold them. As they grow up, they are conditioned to believe they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free. Like the elephants, how many of us throw life hanging on onto a belief that we cannot do something simply because we failed at it once before?
Do you think this happens to us? Very much. Okay. How many of you watched Bollywood Awards, IFA, very recently? Yeah? Okay. At one point of a time, this Tiger Shroff was given award. By whom? Who gave the award to him? Hrithik Roshan. After that, Hrithik Roshan said something, right? Anybody remembers what did he say? He told both the anchors who was on the stage, saying that, friend, we too are the best dancers, all right? And our parents were the great dancers as compared to us. Was that true? Jackie Shroff and Rakesh Roshan never knew to dance, fathers. He says, both of us are such a great dancers and you are not asking us to dance. Now look at it, many people think genetics are the problem, that because my parents couldn't do it, I will not able to do it. Because in some of the areas I come from so and so place where English was never taught, so I will not able to pick it up. See, these are all the things which are there in the mind, and that's where the previous one I said, believe in yourself. If you are ready to believe in yourself, you will be able to break all these hurdles. And for that, you need to try. It cannot happen on its own. Okay? It's a practice. It's a try which you need to do every day. Who is responsible for your learning and development? You are responsible, but how do you make it happen? If you are responsible, how do you assume this responsibility? By coming to class every day? That's it? Okay? It says, these are various things. Institute will provide environment and enablement, but you are responsible for your own development. If you are really able to try this, okay, I am going to take you through some of the aspects of learning, how one learns. Okay, we will see that. But first thing which you need to put in your mind very clearly is the learning cannot happen unless you are the person who initiates it. Do you agree? How to do it is always a question. Okay, and this is something which I compiled for today's day, that how do you do it? So let's look at learning. How do you learn? I picked it up obviously from various sources. It says that a persisting change in human performance or performance potential about, as a result, learner's interaction with the environment. So that's the first thing. Your persisting interaction with the environment is going to make the first aspect of your learning happen. Okay. The second aspect, the relatively permanent change. So based on this interaction, you are going to adopt in your knowledge and behavior the permanent change which you are going to put in through experience, and the others start experiencing, is the learning which is going to happen. And the enduring change, that is continuous change, okay, in the behavior or a capacity to behave in a given fashion, results because you and others experience. So how do you become professional? By interacting, by experiencing, and by enduring or practicing that behavior. How do people learn? Main theories. We'll see 3-4 theories of learning. Okay, and this is something which I think you should start adopting in next 2 years of your learning, or whatever is the time of your learning. Behaviorism, cognitivism, social learning theory, and multiple intelligence. Okay, and that's very critical to know what they are. So trying to put in here not more into theoretical manner, but stimulus and response. So how do you respond to the stimulus? Okay, stimulus is something which makes you, or trigger which makes you to respond to certain things. Let's say today is the first day of your college and you have been told that half a day is a holiday. You can do whatever you want to do. Now this is a stimulus. What's your response? Go and enjoy and see the whole world around, or do you want to see and say, what's next day, let me try and prepare for it? It's up to you. Response and reinforcement. Based on your response, some of the things will be accepted, some of the things will not be accepted. Are you really able to understand it and accordingly reinforce it? That's what the behaviorism says. Now, how does this comes to a management studies? Rewards and punishment. These days there are no punishments, they are only rewards. One of the book which I have read talks about the young generation. I said millennial population, and all they being addressed in that book after this research and study as, you would believe this, trophy kids. Why? Every time you did something, your parents have given you something against it, isn't it? Yeah, that's called as a trophy kids. We have to do the same at the workplace. If we don't do that, all those who have joined us as a youngsters feel bad, whatever they have little bit achieved. You do this work, you'll be given, you do your homework, you'll be given toffee. So the toffee and trophy kids have become really a generation here. Responsibility for students learning rests squarely with students and teacher, but you are a part of it again. Okay? Lecture based. When we say highly structured today, in today's world, it's not completely highly structured. There will be a lot of experimentation which will be done, and you should be really taking a participation into it. So that's your behavior aspect which you need to see that you're ready for reward and the punishment. You're ready for learning. Okay? Going ahead, cognitivism. Knowledge is stored cognitively by symbols, understanding it. Learning is a process of connecting with symbols in a meaningful and memorable way. Studies focused on mental process that facilitates symbol connection, and anybody can learn at any age, and this is again very important if they understand the symbols. And this is something which has been proven theories. Okay? How does this helps? This is something which you need to do. Discovery learning. Discover yourself. Inquiry oriented projects. Don't do the projects based on copy paste. Every engineering project, we do a lot of interviews of the engineers to hire them in our organizations or earlier organizations where I worked. And we simply ask them, have you bought the project? Have you copied the project? You will be able to understand asking 3 or 4 questions. If you are doing that, it's a sure shot recipe for failure. If you are doing a project yourself, okay, the questions which are being asked and the answers which you give, we on the other side with the experience are able to understand, have you done it yourself or somebody else has done it. And do the project which are interesting. Just don't do it asking friends, yeah, what did you do last year? Can you just share some ideas with me? I'll start doing the same. Never ever do that. When you say you are a generation with the ideas, come with the ideas which are really great, and you are able to make the projects which are inquiry oriented, which gives you a lot of inputs, and there are some action orientation. You're having a huge opportunity of technology in other areas, and you must exploit it well. Testing your hypothesis, self-curiosity. You need to encourage yourself, your curiosity. If you stop saying that, I don't want to go further, let it be. It will be stopping your development. Okay? You need to be ready to dirting your hands. Just don't wait, things will happen on its own. You need to go take action. You have to be a charge of it. Then only the things will happen of learning. Many a times you learn out of model. Keep your models. Okay? There's nothing wrong in having the models, but learn out of them a lot of positive things which would come up to you. So what they are? Clues, codes, memories, retain the memory. You want to pick up a style, but at the same time don't copy it. If it's there in you, it will really work well. Okay? But that's one more social learning theory. It says, how does it work? Collaborative learning from a group work. Some people are good in certain things. You can learn out of them. You'd find that's wonderful, people who are able to have a teamwork here would be there. Wonderful individual performers would be there. So you need to learn out of the collaborative learning. Modeling, responses and expectation, opportunities to observe, expert in actions. You're getting some time. You're going to have a lot of lectures coming in from the experts. Just don't sit there and while away your time. Ensure that you understand what happens. Pursue the topic further. Whatever topics interest you, take up. Do the projects on that. Social, constructivism for the management studies, journalizing, experimental activities, personal focus, collaborative and cooperative learning is very, very important. And here it says that people construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiencing things and reflecting on those experiences. What is the reflection? You're trying to, whatever activities you do, at the end of it, you reflect saying that, hey, what did I learn out of it? Okay? I do that reflections every time whenever I do any action. I go to a South Indian restaurant, I go there, have my dosa and come back and say, oh, what a fulfilling thing, yeah. But I find that waiter was very fast in serving or slow in serving. See, reflection starts immediately. So every activity which you're doing, if you're really able to do a reflection, you're learning out of it. Okay? This is the multiple intelligence. I know delivery of instructions via multiple mediums, student-centered activities, authentic assessments, self-directed learning. You don't have to wait for somebody else to tell you what needs to be learned. Okay? And there are various aspects in which you can learn. Here there are various aspects being written. As I made a mention, I'll leave the slides for you. So you don't have to write it down, you can look at it. Now if you look at it, all these theories we have gone through, they were common words which were used throughout. Persistent, permanent, enduring change. Learners' interaction with the environment and experiences. Response reinforcement. Responsibility, self-curiosity, self-directedness, personal focus, inquiry-oriented projects, group collaborative work and participations. Now, all this is nothing but the guidelines for you. Experiential activities, learning through a reflection of the doing. Whatever you're doing, you're reflecting it, trying to know what it is. All this is great. Okay? Yes, I understand all this is wonderful. I've seen, but what is in it for me? Okay? What you can undertake is, can you just get up and read what it is? Somebody who wants to volunteer?
What you can undertake is a structured and supported process by institute undertaken to reflect upon your own learning, performance and or achievement, and to plan for your personal, educational and career development through involving into various activities within and outside of classroom. Personal Development Plan, PDP.
How many of you want to make the personal development plan from today? All of you. I must say that all of you should look at it very seriously. Yeah, it's very essential. If you're getting onto the journey of a PDP, okay, you will be able to track it. The first day, do it in any form, not necessary it should be written. It could be even onto the computer, your maybe in your notes and your iPhone, wherever. You can do it that way. Why PDP? It will help you to become more effective, independent, confident, self-directed learner. Okay? Because the control is with you, not with anybody else. Understand how you are learning and relate the learning to a wider context. Okay? Next, improve your general skills for study and career management. So it doesn't stop at what you're learning academically, it goes further ahead. Okay? Articulate your personal goals and evaluate progress towards your achievement. You want to go and join some organization, you want to become entrepreneur, you want to search for particular skills, all this you should write as your goals and try and pursue them. And try and check whether you're going towards that. You want to reach to Himalaya, are you going to that directions? You want to reach to Kanyakumari, are you reaching to that direction or somewhere else? Encourage positive attitude to learning throughout the life. If you don't learn a day, one of my friends made me get into the habit, and this was about 7-8 years back. I asked him, how much do you read, man? How do you manage your reading? And he very simply said, every day before I go to bed, I spend 35 to 40 minutes reading something. This just gave him ample of time. In a month, he used to read for what? Roughly about 25 hours. And this was amazing. He was able to complete one book or whatever management book or he picks up in a month. And this is something which I tried and picked up from him. It helps big way. Now that's what I say. Encourage positive attitude of learning throughout the life. A Leeds University in London implemented PDP and the students shared after a year. Now that's what I say. Don't start your journey after a year. It's going to be too late. If you start it now, you will be able to analyze whether you are on the right path. This was the experience they shared. I was surprised. It seems to be a waste of time at first, but I realize what a help doing some planning can be. It's a big help. Recording helped me to realize what I have learned this year. I know I should be using it more. I am good at this sort of things. So having to do my mentor, guide, coach would be useful. So ask for it. You will be able to know. See, I am unable to learn a particular thing very well myself. Then I can ask for a coach, mentor, guide. I will be able to identify the gap only if I try to do the assessment. If I don't do the assessment, I will not know where the gap is. It helped me tremendously to find myself. I can be a best public speaker and can express myself well. But this is something finding after a year. You are going on to the journey of personal development project. So PDP, along with your management learning, is very critical. Okay, self-audit. Very, very important. It's basically what are you already doing or what you have done. You need to plan, honest judge of your progress. If you're not progressing, try and consult somebody to see that how you can progress further. Okay. Obvious, the model which you will start working on is a strength, weakness, opportunities and threat. SWOT of yourself. Don't get into the SWOT for bigger things, in the sense, not see in the SWOT, if you have been come across this term SWOT earlier, the strength and weaknesses are internal and the opportunities and threats are external, okay, to the environment or other aspects. So strength and weakness, look at it more. Opportunity and threats are not directly in your hands. How do you create the PDP in action? What are the steps you will take? First of all, need. What are the learning needs you have? Identify them. Don't make it a list of 25. Make a list of minimum 5, 3, 10, whatever you feel are essential for you. Don't make a laundry list of 25. You will not able to manage it. That is, you're fooling yourself. Make top 5, work on them. Okay? Learning objectives, how they will be met. Ensure that you have a plan. One of them is obviously participating in the various out of class or within class activities, connecting, time and planning. It should have started actually yesterday. Today is the right day for its priority. Ensure that there is a top priority. Look at that PDP plan every day. See that you are able to work on it. Review outcomes, self with the help of peers, teachers, mentors, coach. Ensure that you are able to see the outcome. If saying in 15 days I would like to achieve something, try and see after 15 days you have somewhere on that journey and somewhere you have achieved certain things out of it. You agree now you have a tool with you that you are able to do your own development? Yes? Yes? Okay, great. This is what institute does. Classroom, curriculum learning, various cultural, curricular, co-curricular activities for nurturing the experience. Live projects, conclaves, conferences, seminars, industry visit. Now, this is something where you need to participate seriously. Participation is one part, but being there and not being there is the same. A lot of people are here currently, but mentally they are somewhere else, then it's a problem. Then they are not physically they are here, but mentally they are still in their house somewhere at 12 o'clock, what happens there or what? No, you need to be fully present with mental and physical aspect in all the activities which are happening. If that's the case, then the things are more easy. So far so good. Any questions? Yes. Is it going well? Yes, sir. Everybody is awake? Yes. Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Supriya Singh and I am from Durg, Chhattisgarh. Sir, as in one of the slides, it was written that people will be concerned that they don't have enough resources. So, if we are having limited resources, so how we can maximize the benefits with them if we are given to work with the limited resources?
See, basic anywhere and everywhere, when you go, the resources are going to be limited. So, you need to come with the technique. Today, everybody talks about there are going to be limited resources. First of all, if you look at your framework in what you want to achieve, okay, definitely you will have plenty of resources. Okay. If you don't have one, you need to find the way, how do I manage with it? Okay. And that's something which is everyone's personal plan. Some people will be able to really do wonderful with whatever resources they have. Have you all known one of the organization? You can stand or you can sit also, no issues. Do you know Big Bazaar as an organization? Yeah. What is their slogan? What is their? Isse sasta aur acha kahin nahi. You know, what is being technologically or from the strategy perspective, it's being called as more for less. So, you get more from less. Now, how does this impact the employees who are working there? They are doing multiple functions, all right. So, the counter sales guy will also look after the inventory, 2 functions at a time. Limited resources actually gives you an opportunity to shine out, gives you opportunity to resolve certain things, gives you an opportunity to make something really great out of you. So, learning enhances when you have a limited resources. Every constraint gives you opportunity to shine. All right? Yeah? Answers your question?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Let her finish, then we come back to you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Monica Shrivastava. My question to you is, sir, as you are saying, change is requirement in the corporate sector. What kind of change we required in corporate?
Okay.
As we say that the corporate is like a mold, we can inside in the mold and change yourself.
Okay, I'll speak about it. We will be talking about corporate next. Yeah.
Morning, sir. My name is Pooja and I'm from Mumbai. So my question to you is, people say HR don't have scope in Mumbai. Is it true?
Are there businesses running in Mumbai?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
If you have a people, would you need HR?
Yes.
So if there are people, you are needing HR. Point is this, that you need a HR which fits into today's requirement. Yeah? So what do you want? You don't want a HR which is not technologically savvy. You don't want HR who is not really able to understand the HR practices and how do they adapt to the business. You want very dynamic, result oriented HR, ready to take up a challenges, understand business well. If you say this is HR and business, there is no connect, then you are not required. Today, the fast paced world talks about HR which is part of a business. Yeah? And that's where they say the HR is a business partner, should able to actually become a people person as well as a business person. I'm sure I know a lot of friends who work in Mumbai as HR and HR heads. So they are required everywhere. Yeah? Small to big organization, HR is required in different formats. Yeah?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we go ahead and let's look at what's happening globally. What do you think is a global scenario of a business? All great, wonderful, or something is not happening right? We don't know sitting here. Okay, but let me tell you what is happening. There's something known as disruptive innovative world. Okay, you have heard a name of company or phone in the name of Nokia. Does it exist? Taken over by Microsoft, the factory in Chennai is going to close, so many workers will be outdated or other out of job, all right? You have heard very earlier the name Kodak. What happened to it? Vanished. Yeah. Who took over this particular thing, which these people had a business which has been taken over by somebody else? Who took over these businesses? How do you click the photographs today? Digital cameras, phones, all right? Musics are coming out of the phone, right? So Kodak, HMV, or for that matter, Nokia were not required because there were no more smartphones. BlackBerry also is today having their own limping status. They are not doing great. So what is happening? And who has made this change? Who made this Nokia, Kodak and all get outdated? You all. We all. So customers. Everybody of us are responsible because there is a consumerism wave which changes everything. If you are being given a choice, okay, within these walls, let me ask. You have been given choice. Select a car which is coming from BMW, Volkswagen or equivalent coming from Tata's. Which one would you pick up? No guess. No guess, obviously. And that's the reason today India is having a problem of balance of payment. What does that mean? Our imports are much, much higher than our exports. Who are responsible? We all. Because we want from head to toe everything which is imported. Why? Because the consumer feels it means quality for them. Nothing wrong or right. But as a consumer, we have an independent desire. You change your service providers of the mobile 3 times in last 2 years. You change your handset twice or maybe more than that in last 2 years. This is how the consumer is behaving and this is how the disruption in the market is happening. So if you were part of Kodak or Nokia, what did happen to you? You lost the job. Any fault of yours? No. That's what is the world. So you have your own role or no. There would be a change, yes, which could impact you without your knowledge. Okay? So that's the disruption in every area. Day before yesterday, Economic Times talked about something. Advertising, communication, data transfer, blah, blah, blah. All these areas, there are new innovations which are happening. And this is what they are. If you look at every of this has changed. Advertising, data transfer, display, everywhere there is a new trends which are coming in. Not a single area is left where the things which were 10 years back, 12 years back, 15 years back, still followed. They have completely changed. There robotics coming, there's nanotechnology coming. Okay? Today, with the internet, you are able to reach out anywhere. All of you are aware of e-commerce. Somebody talked about Flipkart. Okay? If I ask you this question, anybody who wants to pursue marketing, make a strategy. In 20 seconds, you are supposed to make 800 crores worth of a sale. What would you say? Sir, if you are asking this, you have gone crazy. Yes? I am not crazy. This has happened in 2014, September. Who did it? Flipkart. Yeah? Happened? 50,000 phones sold in 20 seconds. 3 occasions. They have done it, ran from July, August, September. In 3 months, they sold 800 crores worth of a phone. The phone cost was 13,999, 14,000. Just multiply 14,000 by 50,000. It's going to be about 800 crores, right? A company to build the 800 crores of a revenue works for 20 years, and this has happened in 20 seconds. These are the miracles which are happening around us. So what has happened? The sale of 50,000 phones have gone off. So 50,000 customers are less for other mobile companies. Have you got it? This is what is a change. So if you are a part of that mobile company which is eyeing on that 50,000 customers, you have lost. And this is something, is it in your control? But if you are aware, then you will join Flipkart rather than the company which is not selling that 50,000 phones. Got my point? That's where you need to be aware of what's happening globally and what are the innovations which are happening in each of the area. Please keep tab of it. Ensure that that should be one of the plan, knowing what's happening around you, what's going to come and hit you. All the areas. Robotics, I talked about. Healthcare. Big changes are coming in healthcare. Okay, I was just talking to some of your teachers and professors, and I said this, that in last 2 years we find the big change which is coming into benefit area is employee wellness and employee healthcare. Wellness is more of preventive, proactive work which we are doing, seeing that all our employees are fit. They are able to run well, they are able to work well, they mentally, physically feel good to come in. It is very, very important that if you don't do that, earlier it was assumed it is employees' responsibility, social responsibility, they will be all well. But they never had a question that every day they will be traveling for 3 hours, okay, which has come in today as a feature of the work. So there are various changes which are happening, be it education, it has become online, you have multimedia, you have mobile where the changes you know well, genetics is coming up, navigation has changed drastically, you are able to go anywhere based on the navigation. Okay. So there are huge changes which are coming up and you need to keep a tab of it, otherwise this disruptive innovation is changing our world and is going to change each one's life. So if you really want to live a life where you are able to ride the changes, you need to know about these changes. If you do not know these changes, you will be hit unaware of what's happening around you. There are opportunities everywhere. There are new fields which we see have opened up. Okay, and they are media entertainment. Earlier there never used to be so many TV channels, or for that matter even so much of events. Okay, mobile and telecommunication, fashion and related products, retailing, FMCG. Okay, agile manufacturing is something which is supporting it. Somebody asked me what is the question on what is agile manufacturing. Has anybody of you visited Asian Paint shop? Yes? So when you visit Asian Paint shop, they give you a choice of a color. Within yellow, you can take the 7th shade of yellow, whatever it is. Do you think they manufacture so many of our colors? And that's called as agile manufacturing. They manufacture white color and they get the mixture which has been added into it. So manufacturing is actually stretched further to the consumer to make it agile manufacturing. In various areas, this is going to come in. Okay. And this is how the world is changing, and be aware of it. Okay. Health and wellness, I made a mention. Banking and financial services. Lot of changes have happening in banking. one really is bothering whether the banks will still remain if you have online payments, online transactions. Whether you, how many of you have really visited bank physically? How many of you think tomorrow onwards you will be needing to visit a bank? No need. Actually, if you ask me, I have not visited bank for about a year or more, unless you have to sign something personally. Okay? Rest of the time, the whole thing is so much automated and system based that you don't have to visit the bank. So look at all these changes which are going to come and hit you. ITES, education and e-learning, automobile, CSR. There are organizations like NGOs wherein there are a lot of big funds which are being put in. And this is where even the management education folks are required to manage these NGOs in the right way. Okay? So the opportunities are galore, they are everywhere. But while this is happening, there is a brutal world where the things have changed. Okay? In the new contract, employability is a personal responsibility. It is not the responsibility of the company. Tata will not say you will have a job for the life. Earlier it used to be a life employment. Okay? Now it's going to be you need to really shine out yourself to see that you are required there. Partner in the business improvement, learning and skill development, and that's your agenda. Company will provide environment. They will not spoon feed you. Okay? Creative development opportunities. No more is going to be a career development which is vertical only. It's going to be lateral. Somebody who is, you heard a speaker who had come to you, was an engineering person getting into the HR. All right? Change of role. This is happening every now and then. And this is going to be a reality. All right? And you've seen one happening around you. Challenging assignments. Okay? Somebody is working in Mumbai, would be said that you go and set up something in Odisha. One should be able to take the challenge. Information and resources, decision making authority will come down. You don't have to wait, and that's one of going to be a very important thing. If you learn well that how do you take the decisions, you'll able to take the right decisions. Okay? The old contracts, job security, do anything, but you will be still there, knowing standard training programs and all is outdated. What is actually in is the left hand side, the new contract. And this is something which I would say is a corporate today. Make sense? This is what is happening. Rather than tell and control, it is listen and collaborate. You need to listen to what's happening rather than telling only. Have depth and breadth both, and that being a reason the engineering person will become HR, and HR can go into business development. Okay? That's the change. Provide answers rather than that ask great questions to have a future answers. Just don't provide the answers. Ask great questions so you know the navigating the future way. Not wait for what's today and end of it. Okay? Professional plus personal trust, because many a times it's not that there's going to be a team which is going to drive the things, it's going to be individual who is going to drive the things. Okay, you've heard about the financial markets. The individuals are held responsible for various things, and if you look at the old cases or new cases which are happening, it's a leader, an individual who is being held responsible. And supply insight rather than the supply expertise. Let me ask you this question for everyone, HR plus others. As an employee, every year the employee expects the increase of salary. That's a natural phenomenon. Every year, how much of an increase the employee expects? Roughly 10%, 20%. Okay. Let's say you are from one of the mobile company. Let's assume a company is named Vodafone. Okay. You have 1,000 employees, and every year they are asking you to increase their salary by 10%. After 4 years, the salary will be high by how much? 40%. Right? Do you think Vodafone charging the customer, you are a customer of Vodafone. If Vodafone every year charges you 10% more, would you accept it? So on one hand, the customers are not accepting this 10% more. On the other hand, the employees are wanting 10% more. How do you manage this? How do you manage this? You increase the sale, but is it going to increase the margins? So how do you give this 10%, 40% more? Has the company grown by 40% in 4 years? No. It is reduced 20% actually. How do you reduce the cost? You are asking for 20 increase every year 10%. This is where the question comes of supply insight. The demographics of the employees are managed in such a way by which the average costs don't go up. So get the unskilled people, train them, get them in the way, give the talent, give some of the people who are not really working well, get them out. And today, this is the corporate world. You are hearing these days that everybody is talking about bell curve is out. What do you mean by that? Is anybody who is interested in HR and reads this article or talks about it? Yeah? What do you mean by bell curve? Yes? I hope that's okay to discuss this topic. Yeah? It will give you insights on what's happening.
So I don't know much about that.
Doesn't
but,
matter. Go ahead.
It is for women employees for that in that pregnancy matters.
No, that's not the case. What is happening to, yes, go ahead.
Bell curve is a representation of a normal probability curve. It's a reversed U with two extremes. With one point, the middle point is the center, valuation of 0, and the other ends are the SDs, that the standard deviations that we have.
Wonderful. Technically a right definition.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me explain you. When you have 10 employees with you, all right, you divide the employees into 3 categories. Very, very good, outstanding, poor, and in the center 66%. So when you have 5-10% here, 15-20% here, and 66% in the middle, it's called as bell curve. What is bell curve? Keep your 5 fingers like this. You see the bell curve. So there are some top performers, there are some lower performers, but the bell says that in the center you have 66% of employees, roughly. Organizations have started finding this as a problem, that people are getting demotivated when you say you are in the middle of the whole thing. With so much of a changes in the technology and the way the businesses are conducted, the mid employees, so people who are in the center, they feel that their performances are not recognized. And that being a reason, it has started happening that the whole decision making is empowered down. So if you are a manager and you have a team of 50, you decide what you want to do with your employees. Obviously with a lot of training, lot of understanding, lot of detailing and all the stuff. You decide your budgets and you run on how do you want to manage your talent. This is a big responsibility. It is started by many companies. You have Accenture writing about it, you have KPMG, Adobe and others are writing about it. So it's typically percolating down the decision making to the managers and their teams. So it's not going to be a yearly process. It's going to be a process based on how the manager feels it's important. So bell curve used to force, it also being called as forced ranking. So you rank somebody 1, 2, 3 and you rank somebody 10, 11 and 12 and in between everybody is rest of the ranks. Got my point? Now that's also being demolished and now the whole decision making is coming to the managers, and that being a reason it is very essential for you to have a right decision making abilities. If you have a team or for that matter even the right kind of ability to see that you are able to represent yourself well, so you don't fall into the left hand side of the bell curve or onto the lower side of the performance. Okay. So these are the changes which are happening around us even in the processes, because the businesses have changed and there is no certain thing saying that today what you have started is going to continue till the end of the year. It can change in between the year too, and that being a reason there are no set patterns which are going to work. Okay. Any other questions? Would you want to keep running? Yes or tired? Any questions? No questions? Feeling hungry? Yes.
Sir, I'm an IT engineer and I want to pursue PGDM in marketing.
Okay.
So please can you tell me what are the traits I would be requiring to work with a company like yours?
Well, every company would have, please be seated. Anything which you are trying to work on to, as she rightly said, please find out the targeted organizations you would like to work at. Okay? When you work on the targeted organization, see what is needed there. And believe it or not, what you're planning now, if you're not keeping a tab of it, the needs could change in 2 years. So you need to be continuously keeping a track of it. Okay? If Nestle kind of a company was selling Maggi and you thought about that I'm going to be a salesperson for Maggi, the product is out. Without anybody's knowledge, just see, look at the way the things work. So the point is this, whatever you're doing, ensuring that whatever required, very simply what is required for the marketing is the knowledge of the product, your expertise and skills in how to pursue or get the strategy right. Marketing is no more just going and talking. Marketing means a lot of strategy. Okay? And also, very importantly, knowing what's happening to that industry, that product and the changes. One of the very important thing is keeping abreast of what is happening today, now and what's going to happen tomorrow. If you're keeping, see typically I am not an astrologer to tell what's going to happen after 2 years, but one thing is certain, what is today will not be there 2 years later. And that is what you're working on. You're working on a lot of uncertainty which is going to be faced by us. Not in a negative terms, more in the positive terms. Saying that something which will change, if you're keeping a tab, you're able to answer the need at that point of a time. Yeah, answers your question. Along with your skills, what you need is a tab of what's the reality at the other side. If you do not know the reality, whatever you take from here will not be matching there. Yeah?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Sir, as we all know, marketing is a targeted job
and
the finance is operating job. As we HR is which targeted or operating job?
Both it is.
Both.
What is the HR had changed, please be seated. HR has changed drastically in last so many years. Many people used to go to HR thinking that it's a 9 to 5 job. Okay? You know, with the mobiles and emails and all coming in, HR has become 24/7 job, number one. Number two, always used to think that HR is not a data. Today, if you are not expert in analytics and big data, please don't go to HR, because that's the way we look at the HR. Is HR really able to support the business decision? Example, I would say my company says I want to get into Bangalore, want to open up a new office. Can you give me a kind of joining ratio which is going to happen for us over there? What does that mean? If I'm throwing 100 offers in the market, how many people are going to join me? As a HR, I should have this predictive analysis and analytics data ready with me. Or I would be asked, what do you think is going to be the attrition in next 1 year for our Bangalore office which we are going to open up now? If I do not know about it, I'm better not to be in HR. For that matter, business will come to me and say that our client is coming and they would like HR to be presenting them as to what are our business practices and how do you think they'll get convinced. You have a part to play there. If you do not play the part, you're not required. So it's reality that you need to be a business partner. You need to understand business as equal to what marketing is doing or as equal to what business is running. I know you will not be expert to do the selling, but if you do not know about it, you will not able to service it. Yeah. So and that's something which is, so data, analytics, big data, a lot of people have heard these terms, but big data is something which is hugely, open up today's Economic Times and you will able to see the article on big data. Read them. These are the aspects which are changing around us. Big data has a huge meaning. So you need to look at, if your company is running for 10 years, what are the trends in 10 years? What kind of people are joining you? Okay? Are you able to attract all the people who are coming from, you know, so-called north of India and they are sustaining and staying with your organization for last 20 years? This kind of a data points are required today. So analysis, analytics, talking to the people, running the systems, changing the system. Obviously, technology is mandating or other technology is making you to get out of the manual jobs, but when you're getting out of the manual jobs, the new things are coming to you which are more of analysis and other parts of it. Yeah? All right? Answers your question? So it's all together. It's no more cushy. Any job is no cushy job. They are very important, and you need to know the business and the numbers well. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Aditi Jadhav. Sir, it is said that these days people say that along with pursuing HR, we should also be pursuing law. Sir, so how is it beneficial? Law is beneficial with HR.
Okay. One very important thing, please be seated. One very important thing which is happening in India is Prime Minister has his own agenda, Make in India. With that, what's going to happen is manufacturing is going to come into the play. What you need in manufacturing is IR, industrial relations. And for IR, what you need is the law. You need to know the law well. When it comes to information technology and such area, there are no unions so far because they are not protected laborers. But when the manufacturing comes in, there is going to be a lot of law which is going to be required to the HR. Even today, if you are running be it IT company or others, if you don't know law, then you will not really able to function well. You need to know, because there are some laws which are even required now for the compensation benefits and such other areas. The law framework, like she has talked about, the maternity leave provisions today have been changed by some of the companies like Flipkart, whereas also the central government is trying to talk about doubling the leaves. So all this is a law part which you need to know. So it is big advantage to have law along with HR. And I have seen some of the institutes in Pune, management institute, give both the things together. Yes. This side, no questions? All okay? So what are the takeaways? Give me 2-3 takeaways which you have from last 1 hour or more. Yes. What is that which you are going to take away from here? Yes. Let her finish. Yeah. We'll come to you once.
One of the best thing I learned today was PDP. That is
Okay.
something I'm really going to apply in my life, and I hope the results will be fruitful.
Wonderful. Great. Yes.
Sir, I was about to say the same point, but I would like to add on. We will take on that we should have complete insight about us.
Very important. True. Yes. So we are done. If you have any questions, otherwise we can close the session. Well in time, isn't it?